The city lights below me flickered like tiny fires, beautiful, distant, untouchable. I stood by the window of my downtown apartment, suitcase half-zipped on the couch, when my phone buzzed. A notification from the family group chat. I almost didn't open it, but curiosity can be cruel. There it was. A fresh photo. Dad, my brother Jason, and his fiancée Madison, all smiling under golden Hawaiian sunlight. My seat, the one I paid for, now occupied by Madison, wearing the exact sunglasses I'd once bought her as a welcome to the family gift. $233,000. Flights, villas, yacht bookings, all planned, all paid for by me. It was supposed to be the trip of a lifetime. A celebration. My way of saying, we made it. But apparently, I didn't make the guest list. My reflection in the glass smirked back at me. The kind of smile you wear when your heart is cracking but your pride refuses to show it. I picked up my coffee, cold by now, and whispered to myself, they really did it. They actually kicked me off my own trip. I turned the phone face down and exhaled slowly. They thought I'd cry, maybe beg for an explanation. Not this time. They had no idea who I'd become since the last time they underestimated me. A year earlier, I was still the optimistic middle child, the one who always believed love and effort could fix anything. I worked full-time as a travel consultant in San Diego, juggling clients by day and spreadsheets by night, saving every spare dollar for something special. That something was a surprise family vacation. Dad had always dreamed of Hawaii. He'd talk about it like a myth. Beaches that looked painted, sunsets that made you forget everything wrong in your life. After everything our family had been through, I wanted to give that to him. To all of us. So I did it. I planned a luxury trip, booked the flights, reserved oceanfront villas, and prepaid every detail down to the champagne brand on arrival. I even had a leather itinerary folder embossed with Hayes Family, Hawaii 2024. When I told Dad, he just blinked. That's sweet, honey. But don't you think you're going a little overboard? You've always been impulsive with money. Impulsive. That word hit harder than it should have. Jason, my golden boy older brother, laughed and clapped me on the shoulder. Hey, at least let Madison handle the logistics, Liv. You know she's great with planning. Madison smiled her perfectly polite smile, the one that never reached her eyes. It's adorable how excited you are, Olivia. Really? Weeks later, I overheard them talking, Dad, Jason, and Madison in the living room. I hadn't meant to eavesdrop, but when you hear your name followed by a sigh, you pause. She's just too emotional about it, Dad said. We'll sort things out ourselves. Madison chimed in softly. It might be less awkward if she doesn't come. It's complicated with the budget and all. My heart dropped. Budget? I paid for everything. I checked the email confirmations. My bookings were still there, but my name had been quietly removed from the passenger list. The replacement? Madison Bennett. I remember sitting on my bed, hands trembling, trying to breathe through the betrayal pressing against my chest. That night, I found my grandmother's old pendant in my drawer, a simple silver circle engraved with 3 words, "Rise, don't react." I put it on, stood in front of the mirror, and whispered, "Fine. You want me gone? Watch what I do with that." And that was the last night I ever let their approval define me. Leaving that house felt like walking out of a life I no longer belonged to. I packed 2 suitcases, grabbed my laptop, and drove north until the ocean disappeared in the rearview mirror. For weeks, I barely spoke to anyone. I just worked because work didn't judge, didn't betray, didn't pretend. I threw myself into creating something that was mine. All those hours I'd spent planning the Hawaii trip, I realized I could turn that precision, that obsession with detail, into a business. That's how Haven Luxe Travel Company was born, a boutique travel brand specializing in luxury experiences for people who wanted more than just a vacation. I built the website from scratch at a kitchen counter, fueled by coffee and anger. At first, it was laughable. 1 client, 1 laptop, and me pretending to have a team. But 1 client turned into 3, 3 into 10. I started managing high-end itineraries for CEOs, newlyweds, even celebrities. My first big break came when I cold emailed a woman named Isabella Monroe, a powerhouse in corporate travel. She called me the next morning. "You've got fire, Olivia," she said. "Most people pitch me fluff. You sent a plan that made me jealous. I didn't think of it first." She became my mentor, the kind of woman who didn't just open doors, she kicked them off their hinges. Under her wing, I learned negotiation, branding, and most importantly, composure. Still, the journey wasn't pretty. There were nights I cried in silence, staring at rejection emails. Mornings when I'd cover dark circles with drugstore concealer before meeting clients. And through it all, I kept wearing Grandma's pendant, my reminder to rise, don't react. Then came the day I landed a contract with the Kailani Group, a chain of 5-star resorts across Hawaii. Full circle. I flew there for a meeting, standing on the same island I'd once been told I wasn't welcome on. Only this time, I was greeted with leis, champagne, and a company check with 6 figures. No one knew that the young woman shaking hands with executives was the same Olivia who'd once been left off a family vacation list. I posted modest updates online, working on exciting projects, nothing flashy. Because I didn't need validation anymore. The best revenge wasn't proving them wrong. It was outgrowing the version of me that ever needed to. By the time Haven Lux hit its first million in revenue, my name had quietly become known in the travel industry, but not at home. To them, I was still just managing. And honestly, I liked it that way. It kept the surprise deliciously intact. It started with a phone call I wasn't expecting. "Hey Liv," Jason's voice. Too cheerful. "Dad's throwing an anniversary dinner next weekend. At Le Mirage downtown. You'll come, right?" Le Mirage. One of the most exclusive restaurants in California. Irony? I owned part of it. Literally. My company had invested in the luxury group that managed it last quarter. "Sure," I said, my tone even. "I'll be there." When the night came, I chose a navy silk dress, understated but elegant. Hair tied back, a touch of gloss, and Grandma's pendant around my neck. I wasn't there to show off. I was there to end something. The restaurant glowed with amber light. Crystal chandeliers reflected in polished floors. I walked through the glass doors, greeted instantly by the maitre d'. "Good evening, Ms. Hayes. Welcome back. Your private suite is ready." Dad, Jason, and Madison were already seated. Their laughter softened when they saw me, surprise flickering in their eyes at how composed I looked. "Olivia," Dad said, standing to hug me, almost awkwardly. "You look great. It's been a while." "It has," I said calmly, sliding into my seat. Dinner began with small talk, safe, empty words. Madison gushed about wedding plans, Jason bragged about his new promotion, and Dad mostly smiled, avoiding my gaze. I listened, nodded, smiled when appropriate, until the waiter arrived with champagne. "The 2018 Moat, compliments of the owner," he said, pouring gracefully. Madison's brows furrowed. "The owner? That's fancy." I lifted my glass. "To family," she smirked. "To family," she echoed. But before she could sip, the manager appeared, discreet, professional. "Ms. Hayes, just wanted to confirm your dessert selection for the VIP suite. Chef can prepare your usual if you'd like." Jason blinked. "Wait, your dessert selection?" I smiled. "Yeah. Le Mirage is one of my company's partner properties. We help manage their high-end travel experiences. This one actually was part of the Kailani portfolio." Dad froze. "Kailani, as in the Hawaiian resorts." "The same." I let the silence hang for a moment, then continued. "Funny thing, when you were all there last year, I was finalizing that deal." Jason laughed awkwardly. "You're kidding." I reached into my purse, pulled out a sleek black card, and placed it on the table. The logo gleamed, Haven Lux Travel Company. "No joke," I said softly. "That company you've seen in magazines? That's me." The air shifted. Madison's smile faltered. Jason leaned back, his jaw tightening. Dad's fork slipped, clinking against the plate. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. "I started Haven Lux right after you decided I wasn't fit to join that trip," I said. Every villa you stayed in, every champagne glass you toasted with, it was booked through my company. No one spoke. The only sound was the soft hum of the jazz band in the corner. Dad finally cleared his throat. Olivia, I didn't know. I know, I said simply. You never ask. His eyes filled with something, guilt, pride, maybe both. Jason looked down, fidgeting with his napkin. Madison reached for her glass, her hand trembling. For once, I didn't rush to comfort anyone. I just sat there, calm and collected, finally comfortable in my silence. I looked at Dad, not with anger, but with clarity. You replaced me on a trip I paid for, I said softly. And in doing so, you set me on one I actually needed. The pendant around my neck caught the light. Rise, don't react. For the first time in my life, I understood exactly what Grandma meant. For a long moment, nobody spoke. The candlelight flickered between us, soft, golden, almost mocking. Dad finally broke the silence. Olivia, I owe you an apology. I didn't realize how much we hurt you. His voice cracked on that last word. I let the silence stretch, feeling the weight of every unspoken apology from the past. You didn't just hurt me, Dad, I said quietly. You taught me something. That love without respect doesn't last. And respect isn't given, it's earned. He nodded slowly, eyes glistening. You're right. Jason cleared his throat. Liv, come on, we were stupid. Madison just thought. Madison jumped in, her voice shaky. I thought it would be better for everyone if I wasn't there? I finished for her, calmly. Her cheeks flushed. It wasn't personal. I smiled faintly. It always is. She looked down, fiddling with her napkin, and for a second, I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. I took a breath. Look, I'm not here to punish anyone, but things can't go back to the way they were. I've changed. And if you want to be part of my life again, there are some conditions. Dad frowned slightly. Conditions? Yes, I said. Boundaries, actually. I turned to him first. Dad, I need you to stop dismissing me as the emotional one. I'm not a child who overspends or overreacts. I'm a woman who built something from scratch while you doubted her. I need you to see me for who I am now, not who I used to be. He nodded, eyes fixed on me, guilt softening into something like pride. Then, Jason. You've coasted long enough, Jace. You've got potential, but you hide behind excuses. If you want my help, connections, investment, anything, you need to earn it. Start something that's yours. Work for it. He looked embarrassed, but he didn't argue. For once, he just nodded. Finally, Madison. She looked up, nervous. You don't owe me anything, I said. But if you want a place in this family, in my life, then learn what it means to respect someone before trying to outshine them. Her lips parted like she wanted to reply, but nothing came out. I reached for my pendant, rubbing the smooth silver circle between my fingers. You all took me off that trip thinking I didn't belong. But I've spent the last year proving I don't need an invitation anymore. I stood, smoothing my dress, my tone gentle but final. So here's the deal. I'll forgive you, but I won't forget. Not because I'm bitter, but because remembering keeps me grounded. Dad stood too, his voice trembling. You've become an incredible woman, Olivia. I gave him a small smile. I always was, Dad. You just couldn't see it before. And with that, I turned and walked toward the exit. The restaurant staff straightened as I passed, respectful nods following me like quiet applause. Behind me, I heard Madison whisper, She really built all this? Jason's answer was almost proud. Yeah, she did. 2 weeks passed before I heard from them again. One morning, while checking emails in my home office, a small envelope slid through my mail slot. No return address. Just my name, written in my dad's careful handwriting. Inside was a postcard. The photo showed a sunset over Waikiki Beach, gold spilling into pink, waves kissing the sand. On the back, a short message in blue ink. I'm proud of you, Liv. You deserve to be there more than anyone. Love, Dad. Folded inside the postcard was a single Hawaiian lei, slightly faded, wrapped in tissue paper. For the first time in a long time, I smiled without bitterness. Later that day, Jason called. He'd started a new business, small but honest work. You were right, he said. I needed to do something real. Madison's different too. She's been volunteering with travel nonprofits, says she wants to learn from you someday. Maybe, I said softly. We'll see. After the call, I walked out to my balcony. The city stretched beneath me, alive, glowing, endless. I leaned against the railing, the wind tugging gently at my hair. The pennant around my neck caught the late sunlight. Rise, don't react. I thought of Grandma. Of all the nights I'd whispered those words to myself just to keep from falling apart. Every rejection, every dismissal, every empty chair I'd once been denied, they had carved me into the woman standing here now. Not hard, but strong. Not cold, but clear. I wasn't the forgotten daughter anymore. I was the one who built something lasting, not out of anger, but out of self-respect. And as I looked out at the horizon, I finally understood what peace felt like. Because sometimes closure isn't about getting a seat back at the table. It's about realizing you can build your own. I smiled, whispering the final words to myself, words that would echo through every corner of my story. They took my seat, but I built the plane,